Nostalgia, the human race's favorite coping mechanism when reality gets too bleak, which is always. Why face the crushing weight of adult responsibilities when you can just romanticize a past that wasn't great to begin with? We all know deep down that childhood wasn't the magical utopia we've convinced ourselves it was, but hey, if you pretend hard enough, maybe the soul-crushing dread of existence will take a coffee break. And just like One Piece, nostalgia teaches us one thing. The real treasure is the time you'll never get back. Zoro might be one of the world's best swordsmen, but he still can't cut through endless filler arcs. The truth is, your brain is a terrible storyteller. It's like Instagram, it only shows the highlights and skips over all the awkward, boring, or downright depressing parts. Remember that time you binge-watched Stranger Things for 12 hours straight? Nostalgia wants you to believe it was a life-changing moment of pure joy. In reality, you probably had a pile of errands to do, but your brain conveniently edited that part out. The past wasn't perfect, your brain just photoshopped it to look that way. The future? Terrifying. The past? Safe. Nostalgia is your brain's way of choosing the mental equivalent of rewatching The Office for the 100th time. It's comforting because you already know what happens. We use it to dodge the existential panic that comes with thinking about tomorrow. Life's complicated now. Bills, deadlines, identity crisis. But it wasn't always this way, or at least that's what your brain wants you to believe. In psychology, this is called a defense mechanism. Nostalgia is a form of mental time travel that gives you a break from dealing with the crushing weight of the present. It's not that life was actually better back then, it's that your brain is strategically cherry-picking memories to help you survive today's overwhelming chaos. What else could embody the quiet desperation of a soul long burdened by the weight of existence? Enduring yet now turning, with trembling hands, to the sweet balm of nostalgia. How curious it is, this backward gaze, where even the bitterest memories are softened, as though time itself has dressed them in garments of meaning. What once wounded now appears tender, and the trials of yesterday once cruel are embraced as if they were old friends. Nostalgia is the lull before the storm of tomorrow, the brief respite from the madness of existence. It teaches us, like a cruel mentor, that time, once lost, is the only treasure we truly have, and that each moment past is a moment that can never be reclaimed. And yet we still celebrate it, still gaze fondly upon it, for it offers the illusion of safety. This fixation is not the exaltation of memory, but the celebration of loss, a melancholic grasping for what is forever out of reach. And so, like a cycle that knows no end, we are bound to the past, circling endlessly in search of that which time has already stolen. And in this eternal return, we learn the truth. Sanctuary will always be there in places never to be held again. Søren Kierkegaard, often regarded as the father of existentialism, warns of living too much in the past. In his exploration of time and existence, Kierkegaard tells us that dwelling on what was, whether through nostalgia or regret, can keep us from making meaningful choices in the present. He encourages us to act, to make decisions that affirm our existence now. It should inspire us to create new moments rather than immobilize us in the longing for old ones. Carl Rogers, a humanistic psychologist, advises us to practice unconditional positive regard for ourselves and others, including our past selves. When we look back, it's easy to romanticize or criticize the person we once were, but Rogers suggests that growth comes from accepting ourselves fully, past mistakes, triumphs, and all that. Nostalgia, then, should not be used to idolize a version of ourselves that never truly existed, but to acknowledge who we were. Honor that journey and allow it to guide you toward greater self-acceptance in the present. Nietzsche reminds us that the past, though it shaped us, should not bind us. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, he suggests the idea of eternal recurrence, the notion that we must live our lives as though we would choose to live each moment again and again forever. To apply this idea to nostalgia is to recognize that while the past informs us, it is not something to dwell on endlessly. We must face forward and live as if each moment is worthy of being relived, embracing the present with the same reverence we grant the past. The value of nostalgia lies in its ability to remind us of the importance of now, not to escape from it. Nostalgia, then, is not inherently a trap. It can remind us of where we have come from and offer comfort in uncertain times. But to live a life fully, we must allow it to guide us forward, not backward. We should live as though each moment could be relived, finding the beauty in the present as we once found it in the past. We can use nostalgia to deepen our connection to both past and present without losing ourselves in either.